I think what you really need in Africa is balanced development. With economic success cannot be a replacement for human rights or participation or democracy. Uh, it doesn't work. One very good example of the outcome or the result of having this unbalanced success, if you look at North Africa, the data have shown over the last few years that the human development in Africa was the best in Africa. Take a country like Tunis. Literacy in Tunis is almost 100%. It's amazing. No country in the region or even in Asia can match Tunis in education, eradicating literacy. So you have a wonderful human development achievement in terms of education, health, etc., etc. But those hundreds of thousands of young men and women who graduated from college cannot find work. And not only that, they look around and they see a repressive regime, a corrupt regime, etc. Then you have a volatile mix, really, and that's how maybe the revolution started. Because Tunisia overall was one of the top 10 countries in the index. But because it has that unbalanced development, it produced that tension in the society, which resulted in the uprising. One thing also I really must say, I mention here, which is the great development we have done in the gender issues. The progress has been amazing over the last 10 years. Again, we should not really sort of bat ourselves in the backs because we're coming from a very low base, actually. So a lot still has to be done. But at least that's one area where Africa moving in the right direction. 70% of African people live off the land, on the land. It's the main, really, area of economic activity. And agriculture is done by women. So women have a major role in the economic life in Africa. They are more productive than men. Everybody knows that. So there is no even economic basis for discrimination against women. I mean, because women playing their role. Not only they do the agriculture, they do the home, they do the kids, they do the cooking, they do. An African woman has a very long, hard day really to go through. Technology is playing a very important role in African development. Is playing a very important role in accountability and transparency, etc. Look, I mean, you remember when Mugabe had his first election, the first round last time when he lost, and it took them 2 months to declare the result because they just couldn't do anything about it because what happened, people took photographs of the lists in each of the constituencies, and people, in any polling stations, people took photographs of the results. And it was very easy to add this to know who won the election. And it was impossible to really fabricate any results there. People use technology to communicate, to expose wrongdoings, corrupt custom officials who ask for a bribe. You take their photograph and send it immediately, so those guys stopped asking for bribes. It's amazing what technology is empowering people. To speak about Rwanda is a little bit difficult because Rwanda has its own sort of different history because of the genocide, etc. And no doubt that President Kagame did well to try to recover the country after that. But they're facing, of course, major challenges, and how the democracy and participation will develop in the country is something really we need to see. As for the involvement in DRC, we hear two stories really. We have the report from the United Nations, and we have the rebuttals from Rwanda. And I really think Rwanda is not just part of the problem, Rwanda also part of the solution. And what we hope is for the different parties really to sit together. We need really the government in Kinshasa and the government in Rwanda and the friends of the two parties to sit together, because Congo pointing fingers at Rwanda, and Rwanda says we tried, but our proposals were rejected and our offer of help was not accepted. Let us move out of that sort of corner and really sit and have a constructive discussion. It's not in anybody's interest to really leave that part of the Eastern Congo really in chaos at the moment. It's in nobody's interest. It's not in Rwanda's interest, not in the Congo interest, not in our interest as Africans. So really move away from name calling and finger pointing. It's time for the parties really to sit together with their help of their friends, really to find a solution to these chronic problems of Congo. As for Sudan, I'm really disappointed and sad, because as we're talking about the importance of regional economic integration of Africa, breaking borders, allowing freedom of movement of people, goods, and capital, we see my own country, Sudan, is moving in the opposite direction. We are splitting when we're talking about unity. And so we almost acting against, the history movement, which is really unacceptable. But unfortunately, the conditions for separation was overwhelming. And the southern Sudanese felt they are disenfranchised, genuinely, and it was no wonder they voted for independence. Post-independence, one was hoping that the two countries will really act like mature, let's say, brothers or sisters, and really work to develop their economies, to improve life for their own people. They almost went to war from day one. And that is not helpful. That is not helpful at all. And the oil have stopped flowing now because people could not agree on terms or whatever, and calling each other names. I hear there is some agreement now, but we have seen many agreements before. I hope this one sticks. I'm not very much pessimistic, unfortunately, about where we're going in Sudan, because without real political reform, we'll keep moving from one crisis to another. We honored Archbishop Desmond Tutu because he's an exceptional African voice. He's always stand up to speak truth to power. That is amazing, is unusual, unique. And we thought, although he's not a president, he does not qualify for our main event, of course, our main award, the Presidential Award, that maybe we should give a special recognition to a man of that stature. And we don't have to agree with everything he says, but we really admire the moral backbone of this man. For the last 50 years has always been consistent in speaking out his mind, trying to tell the truth, defending the voiceless, giving voice to the people who are voiceless. And we hope to see some more people like him.